Welcome to Uji, Japan, the heart of matcha and green tea across the entire island. Uji has a long history, but today it is a quaint and quiet town. In this video, we'll see the Uji Bridge, which was founded in 646 by a monk and was the site of a major battle. We'll buy tea from the oldest tea shop in the city. We'll see how matcha tea is made from those who are known to have served the emperor himself. We'll purchase ceramics from a family that is making pottery for 9 generations, dating to the 1600s. And finally, we'll learn how to make matcha and green tea properly with a wonderful view of the river down below. But first, we have to get to Uji. Most visitors who try to get to Uji will arrive from either Kyoto or Osaka. From Kyoto or Osaka, you're most likely coming in by train. For this video, I'm getting there via Osaka, and for me, it's about an hour-and-a-half train trip, and it requires me to transfer twice. After the hour-and-a-half, and after having to navigate several different train stations, we were finally able to be on our last train, and we arrived at about 11:30 in the afternoon. When you arrive into Uji, you will arrive at the Uji train station, which is conveniently located right next to the river and in the heart of the town. One of the first things that you'll see as you walk into the old town is the Uji Bridge, which you'll have to cross in order to get to the main street. The Uji Bridge today stands as a testament to the city's history. It was built in the early 2000s, but maintains some of the original ornamentation from an earlier bridge that stood here. The bridge is the site of the start of the Genpei War, which took place between 1180 and 1185. The war was a rivalry between two separate clans in Japan, with one side supporting a prince. The prince fled to the city of Uji and sought the shelter of monks. The monks, to protect the prince, started to dismantle the bridge before the enemy forces could arrive. However, this did not prevent their advance. The enemy started to cross the bridge no matter what, and this image depicts this battle known as the First Battle of Uji. When you cross the bridge, you'll be in the heart of Uji's old town. This main street is known as Renga, and it's going to be where all your old shops are. But more importantly, it's where some of the best eateries are. We're going to grab some chicken before we go out and check out some of the shops. And we found this great little place that does this kind of fried pork with some rice and some curry. Absolutely delicious, and it comes with some miso soup, some green tea, and everything only cost about $7 US. After we finished our meal, it was time to start doing some shopping. We went across the street and started walking down Renja Street, the original old street that follows the river. This is going to be where you find some of the most exciting shopping and where most of the tourists are going to be. But even then, the tourists aren't that many compared to neighboring towns like Osaka and Kyoto. This little shop here is actually one of the best shops in the entire area. It's not the oldest tea shop in the region, but it is absolutely one that has old school vibes. The women who run it are absolutely delightful. You can buy some matcha, green tea, and even some snacks. I really recommend these. They are matcha biscuits, kind of like a cracker with some matcha cream in between. I grabbed a pack for myself to take home. Go ahead and explore the store. Everything in here feels like you're in a little bit of Hogwarts or Ollivanders from Harry Potter. Well worth a visit. But right next door is where the main shopping is going to be if you're interested in history. This here is the oldest tea shop in Uji, and it dates to several hundred years ago. The inside of the shop doesn't have the same old school vibes, but it's well worth a visit, especially if you can talk to the locals about this history. You can pick up some green tea, some matcha accessories, including these matcha bowls, well worth your time. Just next door to this is one of my favorite shops in Uji. You'll be immediately attracted to this machine, which is quite loud and stands just outside the shop. And you'll also be met by a proud owner who talks about how his tea is one of the favorite teas of the emperor himself, and he even has a nice set of pictures to prove it. This is kind of a tea shop and museum all rolled into one. It produces some of the best quality matcha in the region, and you can see the process of roasting the tea leaves to grinding it up and making of the matcha powder. You can easily spend a half hour in this store to learn about the process of making matcha, and I highly recommend to explore some of their wares so that you can purchase some really high-end matcha if you're a fan of it. When you finish with Rinja Street, take some time to stroll around this side of the river. For us, it was Sakura season, or at least the start of it, and we got to see a few blooms. The antique bridges make for a wonderful way to cross this beautiful river and to take in the views of the mountain and the river itself. Along the way, you'll see a couple different temples. I encourage you to spend a little bit of time and stroll through these areas. They're quiet and not overcrowded like the temples that you'll find in Kyoto and neighboring Osaka. Uji itself is a beautiful landmark. It's wonderful to just stroll along this old cobblestone street and take in the views of the river and the old town across the way. I recommend spending at least an hour just taking your time and doing lovely little walks. But while you do that, you might want to stop in this shop here. This is one of the oldest pottery shops of the entire region. This shop is owned by a family who has been making pottery in the area for over 9 generations, and they can trace their lineage back to the 1600s. The shop's pottery is on the high-end side, and you're going to pay for that. But what you get is not only superb quality pottery, but also a wonderful story to go along with it. Every piece in here is unique and handmade. The reason why this pottery is so unique and special is because all of it is sourced from clay that comes from the neighboring mountain, meaning not only is this pottery unique to the region, the clay that it is made from is also quite unique, and it has unique properties. Even if you don't have a lot of money to spend on the pottery, there are still some pieces that are affordable and can fit most budgets. They're closer to the counter, and be sure to check them out. While you're in the store, make sure you take a few minutes to at least admire the wonderful view of the bridge and the Uji River just outside. After this, we strolled down the river a little further and found this quaint little shop after talking to some locals. This is a special tea house that not only produces some really quality green tea and matcha, they also instruct you in how to make it yourself and the different processes to develop the full aroma of the green tea. I highly recommend this. It's about $10 a person and is about an hour-long experience. And while you enjoy your matcha and green tea, you can again have beautiful views of the river down below. Unfortunately, it was time after this to catch our train back to Osaka. We did everything in this video in about 5 or 6 hours, and we really took our time to see the city. I could easily see spending the night here or several nights and enjoying the scenery. Uji is an absolutely beautiful piece of Japan. Be sure to subscribe and follow this channel to see more content on Japan and other countries as we continue to explore the world for several more years.